Welcome back, and moving on to our second segment for today, moving on to Sharm el-Sheikh to check out together more about the conference taking place over there, the African Tourism Forum that was inaugurated on Monday, bringing together tourism professionals from over 20 countries. Well, we have the pleasure to have over the phone Dr. Yahya Abdel, former Counselor, Minister of Tourism. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. First of all, could you just please give us an idea about this forum and what is it all about?
Well, really, last Monday, the African Tourism Forum was held for 2 days in the international resort of Sharm el-Sheikh, and there were representatives of 35 countries, and delegates exceeded 2,000. So for 2 days, leading airlines, tour operators, lodging corporations worldwide, they were discussing and debating, initiatives for development and investment in the African continent, which is very rich with its resources and its facilities and attractions.
Well, whenever we talk about the tourism industry, we have to take into consideration how vulnerable this sector is. And really, the challenges in this sector, no one can ever imagine, because it is really affected by whatever is happening in the whole region. So if I'm talking about the current situation and about the most important, I will not say measures, but points that were taken into consideration during this interesting gathering.
Well, really, Africa is so promising because it's one of the locations, nationwide for the United Nations World Tourism Organization. You remember that the whole world has been affected by the pandemic, but that was, prevalent in 2019. But Africa is so lucky because it restored its figures of international arrivals, 96% of the arrivals that was, recorded in 2019. This is that shows, how resilience is, the management of tourism in African countries. Africa is so rich with its resources, rivers, lakes, mountains, Sahara, safari, and jungles, and its wealth as well. So really, this is the, the age for Africa, for development. And we have seen in South Africa, in West Africa, in the West African countries, and in East Africa as well, like Kenya and Tanzania and Mauritius and all the islands. So in North Africa, so really is leading tourism in the continent. That's why it has a great potential, and the UN and other, like the World Economic Forum is highlighting the progress of tourism, development and investment in the country.
Well, of course, we can see that Egypt is the gateway to Africa, and it is of great importance when we talk about the investments in the African continent when it comes to the tourism industry, and also putting more incentives, especially that the event itself is considered as an incentive, because attending such events taking place, whether we're talking about this event or any other event, is very, very important to promote for more holiday makers to visit Africa and Egypt.
Well, really, Sharm el-Sheikh since the early 90s has been the hub for international, conferences, meetings, peace summits, forum. So it enjoys, a large, volume of rooms capacity, over 150,000 of modern hotel capacities, apart from the, the facilities that visitors can enjoy year-round, and it has an excellent museum and airports as well. So really, Sharm el-Sheikh is becoming a landmark for the development of Egyptian tourism, as well as the other resorts on the Red Sea, like Kader and Marsa Alam and Sahel Hashish. All this region really is attracting millions of visitors year-round.
So what are the measures adopted when it comes to the concept of taking benefit of the Egyptian expertise in this sector in all of the African countries?
Well, of course, like Egypt had an early, like experience in developing tourism. Egypt Air was one of the earliest airlines to be operating in the continent, and now it's extending its operations to West Africa, Central Africa, East Africa as well, with budget airlines and scheduled flights as well. And Egypt, for one time, we had a tourism Egyptian authority in South Africa, in Johannesburg. So really, Egypt has been leading in the MENA region, Middle East and North Africa, and that's why we have lots of initiatives and a large number of Egyptian businessmen, like and hoteliers are now, like running tourist projects in Morocco and West Africa, in Central Africa, in the islands, like the Mauritius and the Maldives. So really, this is a great development, and we have a large number of African who comes to Egypt, like to take, tournaments, like and workshops in tourism development, and museum management, and archaeology and heritage as well. So Egypt played a major role in developing tourism in North Africa and all of African continent as well.
So talking about the different facilities provided to the holiday makers, and of course during summertime we have also a high season receiving also, whether we're talking about the Arab countries or the African countries, we call it the time of the vacation for many people, where they would like to enjoy the Red Sea and the Mediterranean as well, especially that we have seen also many huge developments that took place in the Mediterranean, especially in the New Alamein city.
That's true. We have now really an extremely, like luxurious resort development in Alamein, and shortly, inshallah, we'll be working on the Ras Al Hikma project, which is an international resort. So really, Ras Al Alamein has become, like a world hub for luxury, for yachts, for boats, for events year-round. And very soon, when, like students will be finishing their exams, we'll see the international airflows of visitors. Especially we have 2 or 3 international airports, Burj Al Arab and Alamein and Matruh airports. So they serve and they cater for the flows of international travelers from Europe, from the Arab world, and from the African continent as well.
It is very important as well, as long as we are talking about the Mediterranean, or talking about Ras Al Hikma and New Alamein city, of course taking into consideration all the developments that took place when it comes to marinas in general, because the fact of giving more facilities when it comes to the logistics, and people who are interested to move with their own boats are also very, very important to them.
Well, really, Alamein, like Ras Al Hikma, some, look at it as, like a seasonal resort, but now it's turning to become, like a year-round, like facility and residence, because now we're starting having, like private universities in this region. We have number of companies that, like developing projects in the hinterland, like industrial, agriculture and development. So the whole region really will be flourishing soon. We've been working for the past 10 years on these developments. That's why shortly, inshallah, we'll be reaping, like the fruits of this hard work, and it's becoming a worldwide resort that many travelers love to go and enjoy its attractions and facilities.
So at the end, how do you see the upcoming season for tourism?
Well, really, it's, it's promising, I've been watching, like the director of the World Fund, and she was talking about Egyptian tourism, how it is one of the major supporters and, locomotive of the Egyptian economy. So, sorry. So really, tourism is one of the major vehicles, to promote and support the Egyptian economy. And the summer season, there are many nationalities who will have to visit Egypt throughout the summer. Spanish, Italians, they go to Luxor and Aswan, and other groups, like to go to the Red Sea resort. So international travel to Egypt will be, like boosted in the upcoming this summer season, especially with the budget airlines now that fly from Europe, from Spain, from Italy, Germany, and Switzerland. So that means, like travel to Egypt is accessible, and with the Sphinx Airport as well, like which is in the vicinity of the Grand Egyptian Museum that will be opening soon. So we have great international inflows in this summer season, inshallah.
Right, Dr. Yahya Abdel, former Councillor, Minister of Tourism, thank you very much for joining us.